People who went missing, what happened? In high school, I was that kid everyone expected to become a doctor. 4.0 GPA, president of the science club, and parents who had my whole life mapped out. But one morning, I just couldn't take it anymore. I packed a backpack with some clothes, grabbed my savings of $2,147, and walked out the front door instead of going to school. My parents had been fighting all night about my future. Mom wanted me at Stanford studying medicine. Dad insisted on Harvard pre-med. Neither asked what I wanted. That morning, Dad had slammed a Harvard brochure on my cereal bowl, making milk splash all over my shirt. That was my breaking point. I left my phone on my desk, bought a bus ticket to Seattle, and didn't look back. I knew my parents would track my phone, so I left it behind. I'd been researching this escape for months, reading about how to disappear and start fresh. In Seattle, I found this tiny room above a bookstore. The owner, Rita, was this sweet old lady who didn't ask many questions when I paid 3 months' rent in cash. I told her I was 18, showed her a fake ID I'd bought online, and she just nodded. I got a job washing dishes at this small Italian restaurant. The owner, Tony, paid me under the table and let me eat whatever was left at closing. He'd lost his son years ago and kind of took me under his wing. Every night, he'd teach me how to cook different pasta dishes after we closed up. Meanwhile, my face was plastered all over the news back home. Missing honor student. My parents offered a $50,000 reward. They hired private investigators, posted my photo everywhere, but I'd changed my appearance, dyed my hair dark, started wearing glasses, changed how I dressed. Nobody looks twice at a dishwasher. 6 months went by. I was actually happy for the first time in years. I'd discovered I loved cooking. Tony was teaching me everything he knew. The restaurant became my home. Rita would bring me books from her store and we'd talk about them during my breaks. Then one day, this guy came into the restaurant. He ordered spaghetti and kept staring at me through the kitchen window. My heart stopped when I realized it was my Uncle Ben, my dad's youngest brother. He'd always been the cool uncle, the one who traveled the world taking photos instead of becoming a lawyer like everyone else. I tried hiding in the freezer, but he came into the kitchen. I thought he was going to drag me back home. Instead, he looked at me and said, "You look good, kid. Happier." Turns out he'd figured out where I was months ago. He'd seen a photo I'd sent to my little sister, my one contact with home, through a secret email. In the background was a street sign. He recognized it from a photography trip to Seattle. Uncle Ben had been keeping tabs on me, making sure I was safe, but never told my parents. He understood why I left. He'd done the same thing at 18 when everyone wanted him to go to law school. He told me my sister was doing okay, but my parents were still going crazy. They'd hired their third private investigator. Mom had taken medical leave from her job. Dad had stopped sleeping. I felt guilty, but I wasn't ready to go back. Uncle Ben surprised me by saying I didn't have to. He pulled out some papers, legal emancipation forms, said he'd help me file them if that's what I wanted. But first, he said, you have to call them. They need to know you're alive and okay. After that, it's your choice. That night, I called home using Uncle Ben's phone. Mom answered. She screamed when she heard my voice. Dad grabbed the phone. They were both crying, talking over each other. I told them everything, about the pressure, the fighting, how I'd found something I loved doing, how I wasn't coming home, but I wasn't lost anymore either. There was a long silence. Then Dad said something that shocked me. I'm sorry we didn't listen. It took 2 years before I visited home.